All right, Planeswalkers, welcome to the weekly series here, Friday Night Meta on the channel. I'm excited to break things down here as we launch into March here with new Phyrexia, All Will Be One. So with that, we're going to break down all the formats and best of one and best of three as we always do. Appreciate you tuning in. The timestamps are there for you down below for the section or portion that makes sense for you in upping your game or just staying up to date on things Magic the Gathering arena here. Now, with that, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the likes and the subs. If you happen to have a question or comment throughout today's episode, do let me know because I'd love to hear from you, Planeswalkers, and feel free to come join the Discord server, a great community there as well. So with that, let's dive into standard best of one. So we do have a couple things moving around here out of the gate. And as we can see here, Azora Soldier still maintains that #1 slot in terms of win rate. Selesnya Toxic being a new key deck. We got Mono Red Burn, Mono Red Aggro, Mono Black Control, Grixis Midrange popping into it here in terms of best of one, Mono White Control, and Azora's Control. So we're starting to get a little bit more out of that aggro-y type feel for best of one. So we got a lot there that we can pay attention to and focus on. Now, in terms of popularity, we got Mono Red Aggro, Azora Soldiers there, and Mono Red Burn being really the core of best of one. So those are the three decks that you got to pay attention to. As we look at this popularity here, we do see that shift. What was once good still kind of maintains that standard as we came into Phyrexia All Will Be One. And then additionally here, as we move into our new month and new set in terms of our lovely competition here for the month, and really moving forward, we do start to see some of those changes out of the gate. So that's important to pay attention to. And then lastly here, the win rate over time. Again, some of these things moving up and some of them moving down. Particularly seeing that Simic Toxic dropping down, Azora Soldiers still maintaining that high win rate, and then other things kind of fighting in the middle here. So that is standard best of one. We'll keep it at the wide aggro space right now, or wide macro look, because no one's really in Mythic yet, or at least enough data. So that's important for us to understand. Now, let's go ahead and move into best of three. Best of three here, we have a lot of action going on with Esper Legends. We got Mono Red Aggro, Rakdos Midrange, Mono White Midrange, Grixis Midrange, Azora Soldiers, Mono Blue Tempo, and Jund Midrange. So interesting to see some of the control really being in that best of one, but not quite as popular here in terms of best of three, at least for now. Grixis Midrange being that key deck here with almost 30% play, Mono Red Aggro at that 16, and then Mono White Midrange at about 10%. So those are really the key three decks in terms of what's happening in the meta for best of three. And then as we scroll down here, we see a lot of that in terms of what's happening here, that Grixis Midrange really propelling there towards the end of the last season. In the beginning of this season, Mono Red maintaining that fast pace, similar style, everything else kind of falling down, but a little bit more of an upward trend. And then also here in terms of those win rates. So that is standard best of three. Let's go ahead and check out Alchemy. We got a new Alchemy going on, just freshly dropped this week. Mono Red Burn, Mono Red Aggro. We got Dimmer Oracle in there. Again, this is best of one, 26% there, not almost 20% there. Dimmer Oracle at 8.8. And then you can see again exactly with that new drop, some of these changes in these decks and what's being played as well. Let's see if there's anything in best of three. Nothing in best of three right now. Not surprised, to be honest. Let's go ahead and check out Historic. Historic here, pretty interesting. We got a new one with Esper Affinity. We got Is It Wizards, Is It Belcher, Selesnya Heliod, Mono Green Elves, and Dimmer Mill, and a couple other ones here in particular. We got Is It Wizards, Mono Green Elves, Dimmer Mill, Esper Affinity, Selesnya Heliod, and Is It Belcher. Now we can see where these decks are moving around. Is It Wizards has been a popular deck for some time. Again, second popular being that Mono Green Elves for historic best of one. And then we look at some of these win trends. We do see that Esper Affinity pulling through towards the end of the season there and starting out strong here for March. And then you can see those other decks moving around as well. All right, let's go ahead and check out best of three. Best of three, we got Rakdos Midrange, Mono Green Devotion, Is It Wizards. Again, you can see those decks very popular here with that Rakdos Midrange with the new set. And then additionally here, well, new season drop. And set release. And then you can see everything as it's moving around. We do see Rakdos Midrange dropping off in terms of win rates and some of these other things moving with that too in tow. All right, so that is Historic. Let's go back to best of one and check out Explorer. Explorer, Mono White Humans. is the key front runner right now, followed by Celestia Angels, Azor's Control, Mono Red Aggro, Absent Greasefang, Rakdos Midrange, Mono Green Devotion, Mono Black Devotion. So a lot of the common decks that we've been seeing and trending over time, and then Celestia Angels, Mono Green Devotion, Absent Greasefang, Mono White Humans. Pretty tight there in terms of the bottom four, and then kind of similar for the top four. And then again, we can check out some of this trending here. New season, strong Celestia Angels out of the gate, Mono Green Devotion out of the gate. And then you can check out the win rates here again with that Mono Whites doing very, very strong since Phyrexia All Will Be One was strong still a little bit before that as well. We see that trend of Mono Black Devotion trying to come back up there as last. All right, let's go ahead and check out best of three. Best of three here. We got Mono Green Devotion definitely killing it in terms of what's happening there. Rakdos Midrange, Celestia Angels, Mono White Humans, Azor's Control, 5 color fires, and Is It Creativity? At that top end there, Rakdos Midrange really dominating, followed by Mono Green Devotion, Azor's Control. And then as you can see with the reset here, Rakdos Midrange just skyrocketing back up. Everything else kind of moving in similar direction. We got that Mono Green Devotion in terms of that win rate doing very, very well out of the gate here, which is important for us to take a look at. All right, so that concludes Explorer. Let's go check out Historic Brawl. Historic Brawl, again, Atraxa still maintaining the top here. Grand Unifier at 65%. Rusko dropping. Elshnorn popping in, getting close to that Rusko. Then we got the first Sliver, Ghost Shintai of Life's Origin, Zika, Azuri, Stalker of Spheres, and Brawl in there at 25%. So there you go. And there you see, again, 5% Elshnorn, Rusko dropping at 2.5%. You can certainly see these trend lines in terms of that popularity over time here. And then additionally here, in terms of what those win rates are looking at, those three are pretty close in terms of popping around. So that's very, very good and healthy for us to see as well in terms of Historic Brawl meta. All right, Planeswalkers, that concludes today's Friday Night Meta. I thank you for tuning in. As always, appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs. Let me know what you think, what you're finding out as well. Are you seeing this consensus among us in terms of some of these decks that we see in the data? What you think? What are you playing? I'd love to hear from you. Always feel free to swing by the Discord server. Great community there as well. Love to hear your questions and comments. Thank you again for your support. Appreciate all the members as always. And with that said, Planeswalkers, stay tuned because we got a ton more content coming your way here on the channel. Till next time, Mythras out.